This is something that you're commanded to do no matter what,
Yeah.
or no matter how you treat me, no matter how you acting out here. Like, my call is to love you.
We were very intentional about um first and foremost just making sure that God was glorified.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole God is the whole creator and the foundation of marriage.
All right. What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of Bolden Matrimony. I am Robert Bolden.
I am Kori Bolden.
And today we have a very, very, I think, insightful conversation. This topic that we're going to talk about, I think, is often glossed over, and there's so much to unpack from this particular topic that I think it'll be a lot of value that comes from people hearing our story and how this worked and our advice to them going into these situations.
The lessons we learned.
Yeah. So that topic is, like, we talked about generally wedding planning and talked about the finances and this and that, but getting into like the granular of what that looked like in the day-to-day, especially from the man's perspective and the woman's perspective, I think is important.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we start? Where do you start with this wedding planning? Where do we go?
That is a good question. I think just starting with the main lessons that, like, the key touch points that we want to highlight.
Yeah. So what, from my perspective, being the man who now has committed to engagement to this woman and having to put what we foresee to be our wedding together in a year. Many men that I've talked to and have like had conversations with aren't really involved in the process. Mm-hmm. They will sort of just leave the work to their woman. They don't check on how things are going. They're very hands off. And I believe that that's a mistake for a few reasons. Now, this just works for us. We're not telling you like this is how you're supposed to do stuff. Everybody got their own way of doing things. But from what I can tell, being involved is going to be very helpful because, number one, it helps you to actually learn your spouse more. Mm-hmm. And I always talk about reps.
Your potential / future spouse. Yeah.
Learn your future spouse more. And I always talk about reps. And the idea of reps is, I'm an athlete. I play ball. You never want to miss reps. You always get your reps because that's how you get better. You constantly do things that are going to put you in position to win. You show up. You do the work each and every day. So don't miss a rep. And I think by missing out or just passing the baton to your woman is allowing her to get reps that you both need together.
Yeah.
So how would you describe me during the wedding process? Like, was I pressing you? Was I not there enough? Like, what was my role from your perspective in us putting together a wedding?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say that you were very like even keeled. You were very present, but you were also just really how you are in our marriage, just very present, but not like just forceful or like dominant.
Yeah.
You allowed me to lead in the areas that I, was stronger in, and it was basically our communication throughout that process was like you were involved in the things that, of course, you were more involved in the things that everything mattered to you, but the things that mattered most to you.
The money. Just say it.
The money and even some of the details of the ceremony and things of that nature. But yeah, with our expenses and with the things that we had to, pay for throughout the wedding ceremony or throughout the wedding planning process. It was basically me coming to you on things that you may not have had been as hands-on about and saying, hey, babe, this is what it's looking like. This is what the cost is, giving you the details. And we have a discussion about it. And then we make a decision on whether that's a yay or nay. So you were pretty easy. You were very easygoing, but it wasn't like a passive thing. It was,
I feel like it is a balance to it. And I say that for two reasons, because it is a wedding, and typically for most people, and this is true for us, just me and you, like the wedding is the thing that the woman has always thought about. It's the thing that they sort of fantasize and really, really want. So it would be absurd of me to say, like, no, we're going to do it the way that that's not it. So I believe that giving you, like you said, there are some things that you are skilled at, and there are things that you are a leader at. And for me, as like the headship, to suppress leadership isn't a good thing. Like leaders breed leaders, right? So leaders don't have just a bunch of followers. They have leaders with them. And you're a leader in your own capacity. So for a leader to recognize that, it puts us both in a situation where we win. So for example, Kori is very good with planning stuff. It's just naturally, she'll have a whole list of stuff in the notes for a vacation. Babe, we could do this, this, and this. And sometimes there may be some oversights, whether it be financially. Not say, babe, we can't make this trip happen. The budget, the math ain't mathing, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the part where it allows for, I'm gonna just keep referencing these reps for us to say, like, oh, this is how you think about things. This is how you approach these situations, and I'm learning you to know how to deal with you in a way.
Yeah.
So contrary to that, if I don't do that, or if I'm just absent and saying, go ahead and fly and do whatever, if the ship crashes and burns on the other side of this, then who really is at fault? If you're the man, you're the headship, you're your guy that's supposed to be leading everything, who's to blame, right? So I think those moments were pivotal for me in learning each other, because not only are we learning each other, but it's not just me and you that's getting married, it's our family as well, right?
Our family is involved.
Yeah. So how do you deal with conflict? How do you deal with somebody feeling like they're supposed to? Go ahead.
And those were the themes, that came up during that process. There was conflict. There was, decisions that needed to be made regarding our finances. There were things that we, had to communicate about, or opinions that made, from other people who were helping in the planning process, where I would have to like go back to you and like have a conversation, or vice versa. Like people popping up saying, hey, can this person come to the wedding, or can I come to the wedding? And it's like, so it's just a lot of moving parts. And that is what makes the wedding planning process deeper than the actual wedding.
Exactly.
It's how are we navigating all of these different variables that are coming up, and are we like a united front? Are we keeping the ship, steering in the right direction, or are we swaying to the left and the right as these different variables come along?
Yeah, and I think it's just so important and beautiful, really, when done correctly. Because like I'd much rather go through that process the way that we did and it not work out, and we haven't put this ring on yet, right? And many people who do this process separately may get to the point to where we've been living separate. I haven't collaborated with planning, but you put the thing together, and now we living together, and it's all this stuff popping up that is like, oh, this is when the classic, she changed. Like, no, she was never this way. You just didn't get enough reps. So I think that's like the key, man. And it's such a intricate time with so many details that involves literally what you guys' life will look like forever.
Yeah.
In just a year or whatever your engagement period is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we may have talked about, you know, how when we're talking about strengths now, you are the financial advisor. You know, you make sure that in our household, like, we have a system, we have, you know, and that's how we approached our wedding planning process. Was we didn't have, like, some people go into it with like, okay, we want to get married on this date, and then and then work around that date, or like find a venue that has that date available. But we actually worked backwards. Like, we said, okay, we went to the venue, we went to a couple venues, we got a price point. Okay, this is the range we looking at. And we actually worked backwards. How much can we save, or how long will it take how much can we save per month with both of our incomes and cash flows and stuff? And then how long is it going to take to get to that number?
And that will determine when we get married.
And that determines when the wedding date is.
Because people will restrict themselves and say, oh, we want to get married at this place. And it may be, let's just say, upper echelon, top tier, very high price point. That's cool. You can do that. But maybe it's 3 years. Yeah.
But we also knew that we were not trying to
that was a no-no for us.
We weren't trying to have a long engagement. Yeah. We said we didn't want to be engaged for longer than a year, and we literally were engaged for 11 months.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. Just to be able to walk through that process and get to an understanding together. I would encourage the fellas for sure, like, be involved. Be very involved, because this is the process that you will catch so much stuff, and catching it is good. Like, this isn't a bad thing at all. And the purpose for it is that you guys are able to talk, you express your heart, and you work through it together and move push the needle forward. If that never happens, unfortunately, you done put the ring on now, and now it seems like everything's a big deal, and you're finding out all this stuff that just seems to be coming out of left field, where you didn't get the reps.
Yeah. And I would say that you know, I just lost my train of thought. I literally just lost my train of thought. I had a really good point to make.
It'll come back. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Dang, I really lost that. That's crazy.
Well,
but keep going.
So those are pretty much the biggest takeaways that I got from this process. It's so much bigger than just like planning a wedding. This is you really taking the opportunity to like learn, to collaborate, to put yourself in very uncomfortable situations. This idea of like two individuals becoming one is so much deeper than what we give credit for. And I feel like I truly understand it on a different now, having experienced a marriage and now living with you. Even in the short time that we've been together, it's different. Two people becoming one.
That we've been married?
Yeah,
since we've been married for like, it'll be 2 months tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly 2 months. That's wild. And time it's just not letting up. It's crazy.
Waits for no man. Did you get your thought back?
No, I didn't.
Oh man.
It has something to do with the finances. I think I kind of got it, but I was just gonna say, even though like with us having all of that mapped out, thank you for it. It took a lot of pressure having a plan mapped out for how much we were saving, how much we were contributing every month, what expenses were coming out each month, when we were making the deposit for the venue, when we needed to pay for the vendors. Like, we had all of that mapped out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were also very blessed.
Yes. Absolutely. Let's talk about that. Talk about that.
God really, like, the provision
Come on.
was just like on another level. Like, man, and we could shout out everybody because
By name. Call them by name.
like our friend William Haggins the Fourth.
Sir, we gotta put sir on it for this.
Sir William Haggins the Fourth. One of our good friends. We like, and his birthday just passed. Happy belated birthday, Will. But we actually called him on his birthday last year.
Yeah.
We FaceTimed him.
What a full circle moment.
Wow, this is crazy. We FaceTimed him on his birthday, and we had just gotten a quote for the floral arrangements. A $4,000 quote. And we FaceTime Will, and we just like, happy birthday, la la la. He asked like how wedding planning is going. Did we, he's an event coordinator, event planner, and he's asking us about the floral arrangements and stuff. We like, yeah, we just got a quote. He was like, I could hook you up with my guy or whatever. And he was like, I could get you a nice deal, blah, blah, blah. He was like, matter of fact, I'll just cover it. Don't even worry about it. And we're like,
all right.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. I mean, and that is a huge,
that's a huge
expense.
Huge help. Yeah.
That was a huge, and it was beautiful. And so yeah, that was one. And then your best man, your best friend Kori.
My boy Kori, who stood with me in my wedding. I absolutely love you, bro. Mm-hmm. The suit that I had on, custom fitted, you know what I'm saying? He covered my suit. Yeah. Got us matching watches. You'll see. We'll have a story on that. Bro literally was just like, I'm just here to be with you and for you for this day, and I'm gonna do that. And he did exactly that.
Yeah. It was Chiffon auntie got us all the wedding favors. Yes. She helped out. Mom, parents helped out. Like, I had a wedding crew.
Yeah.
Threw me an amazing bridal shower.
Yep.
My sister Erin, my mother, my
DJ
aunts.
Good Boy we had for free.
DJ Good Boy, he gifted us his services. Yep. Like, it's just a blessing.
Yeah,
like,
huge.
We have such an incredible village, and so we cannot take. We don't take any credit. I mean, no. God gets all the glory for how everything came together, first and foremost. And just for blessing us with an amazing village that, gave a lot of support throughout that process. So, we're definitely blessed.
Definitely blessed. And definitely grateful. Like, thank y'all.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I for real. Like y'all set us up sweet, and we certainly appreciate it. And man, I think that's all I had on the topic, but I think it was a good one to really dig into and encourage. Like,
so 3, maybe like a couple takeaways.
My biggest takeaway was just get the reps, like, and don't exclude any. There are no bad ones. Get the reps, because it's going to allow for you to strengthen what's there or avoid what could be disastrous in the future. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I would just say, like, communicating, trusting. We talked about, like, trust in one of our other videos, but that's a common theme, like really just trusting God and trusting your partner, like being able to communicate the things, even the uncomfortable conversations, but making sure that we're always having that united front and always like on the same page and checking in. And so that was really a big one for me, and we did that very well. I think we handled a lot of different variables throughout that process. It was little fires, but we did that.
Yeah,
by the grace of God.
By the grace of God. That's good.
So,
Well, we certainly appreciate you guys tapping in
Yeah.
for this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, and check out any other videos that we got out there. We got some good ones coming, so I'm
Yes.
excited about that.
and let us know some, other topics y'all would like us to cover.
Yeah, we'll definitely cover those.
Yeah. So that's it.
Well, that's all for tonight. Have a great one. See y'all soon.